Tonight on Reporting Scotland, a trial has heard that 2 police cars followed a murder suspect for miles without stopping him before the man carried out another alleged shooting. Also in tonight's programme, shopkeepers say Edinburgh's Royal Mile has become lawless with thousands of pounds worth of goods stolen.
I don't think twice, and what next? I'm just expecting maybe somebody one day will come with a knife, and what do we do?
Aberdeenshire Council announces plans to close 13 libraries by the end of the year. We'll have the latest.
I actually wouldn't change the journey that I've been on because it's made me a much stronger and confident person.
We meet the mum who's had preventative surgery after discovering she has the faulty BRCA gene discovered 30 years ago.
And I'll be live from Hampden with tonight's sport as Scotland play Croatia in their penultimate group game of the Nations League.
And Paddy McGuinness rounds off his 300-mile epic chopper cycle challenge in Glasgow. Hello, I'm Sally Magnuson. Welcome to Friday's programme. The High Court in Edinburgh has heard that 2 police cars followed a murder suspect for miles without stopping him before the man carried out another alleged shooting in August 2022. Finlay MacDonald is on trial accused of attempting to murder his wife Rowena MacDonald at their home on Skye before murdering his brother-in-law John McKinnon and then seriously injuring a couple, John and Faye Mackenzie, in another gun attack. He denies all the charges. Our correspondent Stephen Godden was in court. Viewers may find some of the details in this report distressing.
Prosecutors allege that Finlay MacDonald's crimes began with the attempted murder of his wife at their home on Skye before driving across the island and murdering his brother-in-law with a shotgun. Today, a police officer told a High Court jury he and a colleague were aware of both alleged attacks as they followed the suspect's car towards the mainland. PC Christopher Tate told the court that he'd been heading to the scene of the alleged stabbing when he saw Finlay MacDonald's Subaru heading in the other direction. He said he turned around and switched off his vehicle's blue lights and that he and a colleague followed the suspect for miles without stopping him, having been reassured that firearms officers were on their way. In his evidence, the officer driving the other police car said he requested permission to stop the vehicle but was told not to by the police control room in Dundee. The pursuit led to the home of John and Faye Mackenzie in the village of Dorney. PC Tate said he was on the driveway when he saw the suspect pointing a shotgun at the front window and firing twice. He said he pursued him into the house where he found him in the hallway struggling with another man who was on the floor bleeding heavily. The jury heard that after being tasered and beaten 6 times with a police baton, Finlay MacDonald told the officers, "I've got no problem with you guys." Earlier, distressing 999 calls were played to the jury. In the first, screaming children can be heard in the background as Rowena MacDonald tells the call handler she's been stabbed. Asked who did this, she replies, "My husband." "Where is your husband now?" "In the house," she replies. In the second call, John McKinnon's daughter tells the operator her father's on the floor with lots of blood. Later, another exchange of voices is heard. "Was it a shotgun?" "Yes." "Who did it?" "Finlay." "Who's that?" "My brother. I don't know why." Finlay MacDonald denies all of the charges against him. On the charge of murder, he's lodged a special defence, claiming he was suffering from an abnormality of mind. The trial at the High Court in Edinburgh continues. Stephen Godden, Reporting Scotland.
Edinburgh's Royal Mile has become lawless, according to businesses there. Thousands of pounds worth of goods have been stolen from shops on the Mile in recent months. Staff say it's become dangerous and claim that police are not doing enough to stop reoffending. Police Scotland says it has a dedicated team investigating the thefts. Hope Webb reports.
In the dead of night, all it takes is a foot through the window, and this thief has access to a plethora of Harris Tweed handbags and expensive cashmere. But these smash and grab tactics are employed at all hours of the day, and even when shopkeepers pursue the criminals, it's often to very little success.
Stop him! He stole from us! Stop him!
The result is Edinburgh's historical Old Town is now littered with boarded up windows and shop fronts.
We arrived this morning. When we arrived this morning, we saw that this window up here was smashed. So, as you can see, like, we tried to cover up with cardboard for trying to stop like the window and the cold coming in. But all here was full of glasses, of course, from the window smashed.
Roberta manages one of the biggest gift shops on the city's Royal Mile. She says they're being targeted daily.
I'm starting to be as well concerned for my staff, because at the beginning people were just stealing something, sometimes kind of hidden, but now they're like extremely confident, so they don't think in twice. And what next? I'm just expecting maybe somebody one day will come with a knife, and what do we do?
The Gold Brothers Group owns dozens of shops in the Old Town. It's lost around £15,000 worth of goods to theft in recent months, and it's now calling on Police Scotland to step up preventative action.
We are really asking for this police presence to increase, whether it be on foot during the day, vehicle by evening, maybe a presence to actually deter the thieves at night and during the day. Even now in November, there's still a high footfall of visitors here, and we do not see a police officer. We're asking that there be a very urgent emergency summit on the issues that are going on in the Old Town. This has to happen urgently so we can get a real handle on this situation.
In a statement, Police Scotland said it is fully aware of the ongoing issues with thefts in the High Street area. It also said a dedicated investigative team has been assigned to work with local businesses. Police confirmed that a 43-year-old man had recently been charged over thefts from 2 shops on the Royal Mile in October. But while these brazen crimes continue, many of the shops are now considering hiring security to keep their stock and staff safe. Hope Webb, Reporting Scotland, Edinburgh.
The leader of Inverclyde Council is stepping down after appearing in court charged with assault and threatening or abusive behaviour. Labour's Stephen McCabe resigned after an appearance at Greenock Sheriff Court. He denies both charges. Our reporter Gillian Sharp joins us now. What more can you tell us, Gillian?
Well, Sally, as you say, Stephen McCabe appeared today at Greenock Sheriff Court. Now, the 60-year-old denied shouting and acting in an aggressive manner towards a woman, and a second charge of assaulting her at a home in Kilmacombe by seizing her on the body and pushing her in October this year. A trial date was set for February next year. A statement from the local authority confirmed that Mr McCabe, who's led the council since 2011, has decided to step back from his role. Now, Mr McCabe was released on bail with special conditions not to contact or approach the complainer or enter a specified address. It's understood that he's been administratively suspended by Labour pending the outcome of any investigation. More from that council statement, they say that Deputy Leader Councillor Maguire will continue to deputise until a new leader is appointed. Now, the next council meeting, and it's up to them to choose a new leadership, is on the 5th of December.
Gillian, thanks very much indeed. Gillian Smart. It's been announced that 13 libraries in Aberdeenshire are to close by the end of the year. The decision is said to be due to a combination of factors, including a fall in users. Louise Hosey reports.
This announcement came late this afternoon. Live Life Aberdeenshire, which operates libraries on behalf of Aberdeenshire Council, saying the decision has been made as part of a review. The library here at Balmedie, along with Bodham, Cairnbog, Inch, Inverbervie and Cruden Bay will close. Kintore, Macduff and Newport Sligo will also shut by the end of the year, as will Newmacher, Newton Hill, Rosehearty and Stricken. Reasons provided include a fall in users and some buildings no longer being suitable. Of course, all this comes against a backdrop of wider council cuts in neighbouring Aberdeenshire. 6 libraries closed last year, and in Moray there's an ongoing consultation on the possible closure of 7. Affected staff have been told today's news, and redeployment opportunities will now be looked at. Live Life Aberdeenshire says it will continue to provide services online. It also says that 18 libraries will remain open in what it describes as the region's main towns. Louise Hosey, Reporting Scotland, Balmedie. It's
been 30 years since the discovery of the BRCA breast cancer gene. That's paved the way for genetic testing to identify those most at risk of inheriting a faulty gene, and alongside that, a wide range of treatment options. Our health correspondent Lisa Summers has been speaking to one woman who had preventative surgery after discovering she had the gene.
Nice. What about this one here? Look, it's like got the perfect shape. I now no longer live with the anxiety of my massive risk. My chances of getting breast cancer were between 70 and 90%. Having such a young child, I knew that I needed to do it so that I could make sure that I was around for her as long as I possibly can be.
Only after her dad and auntie were diagnosed with cancer did Lisa discover she too had inherited a faulty BRCA gene. It puts her at much higher risk of both breast and ovarian cancer.
It was absolutely devastating. It was, my whole world crashed around me at that time. It was really, really difficult, especially because I was a single parent to a young child. It feels like a death sentence initially.
But learning she had it gave her the choice to take preventative action, and Lisa had a double mastectomy in 2020.
I actually wouldn't change the journey that I've been on because it's made me a much stronger and confident person. I do feel a lot safer and a lot more comfortable in the knowledge that I've taken the preventative measures.
The discovery of the BRCA gene 30 years ago was a major breakthrough in cancer research. Genetic testing and the developments of new treatments have all helped people like Lisa have choices. But it's also helping research into other types of cancer.
So here are MRI scans of the brain of a patient treated on one of the trials. And on the left you can see the tumour relatively large. On the right we have the patient after completion of treatment. And we can see that there's been a reduction in the size of the tumour.
Glasgow University are now leading a study partially funded by Cancer Research UK. It's investigating whether drugs originally developed for BRCA cancers will work on an aggressive type of brain tumour.
So at the moment it's uniformly fatal. Everybody with this cancer essentially dies because of that tumour. So to be able to change that and improve the outcomes for those patients would be massive.
How many have I got in this title?
Five.
For Lisa, 30 years of research has helped her feel much more positive about the future.
And it gives me so much hope. And by the time my daughter has to go through it, there's going to be so many different options. The medical world will be so different then. And it means, hopefully, that people who do have genetic alterations will find out before it gets to the point of a cancer diagnosis as well.
They're big.
She now hopes there'll be wider access to testing and greater awareness of the BRCA gene. Lisa Summers reporting Scotland.
Supermarket giant Tesco will open their Stornoway store on a Sunday for the first time this weekend. The Isle of Lewis has a long tradition of observing the Sabbath, and nearly 2,000 people have signed an online petition against the decision to open on a Sunday. Tesco said it had received a significant amount of positive reaction to the plans. Katrina Renton reports from Stornoway.
Sabbath observance has survived in Lewis even after it disappeared from most other parts of Scotland. Around 7,000 people live in the main town, Stornoway. According to the Bible's fourth commandment, Sunday is a holy day for worship and rest from work and other activities.
There, Stornoway Free Church is steeple, Martin's Church of Scotland there. So it's dominated by steeples.
The Reverend Hugh Ferrier believes Tesco should not open on Sundays.
The culture here is very distinctive, and that culture seems to be increasingly eroded when you have shops now opening on a Sunday. And I'm concerned, disappointed, because I'm a Christian and I fully believe that God has given us his word, and that word says that there's one day for his worship.
Much is now different. Long gone are the Sundays when play parks were closed and the swings tied up to keep things peaceful. And many people on the island do not go to church on a Sunday. Over the years, things have changed here on the Isle of Lewis. Now you can get a ferry or a flight on a Sunday and go to the cinema. But is opening a supermarket a step too far?
What do you think about it? I think maybe you don't know what you've got till it's gone. That's all I can say. I think, it's going to spoil everything.
It's 2024 now, so, get with the times, kind of. Personally, I don't mind, but I know a lot of people that are going to be really annoyed.
The change is what it's like on a Sunday, but there's only so long that we can stop it, everything changing.
There was no such thing as Sunday opening of the bars.
This local councillor represents part of the island.
We're very much a community of mixed ideas about this. I've spoken to many Christians who are no objections at all to Sunday swimming, Sunday golf, Sunday sailings, etc. And I've spoken to very many secular folk who are completely against the idea of anything happening to the peace and quiet on a Sunday.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Tesco said, "We are confident that the decision to open our Stornoway superstore on Sundays will allow us to balance the demand for 7-day opening while remaining respectful to local traditions and culture." They said over recent weeks we have received a significant amount of positive feedback to our new opening proposals, particularly from colleagues. It previously said that no one will be forced to work on a Sunday. Will this change become the new norm? It will be the people who live here who will determine its success. Katrina Renton, reporting Scotland, Stornoway.
Let's get tonight's sport now with Lewis, who's at Hampden for us this evening. Important match tonight, Lewis.
It absolutely is, Sally. Yes, hello there from Hampden, where it is a big night because Scotland have the chance to get their first competitive win in over a year. But it's not going to be easy at all. Croatia, the opponents, and they boast one of the greatest midfielders of a generation in Luka Modric among their many talented players. For Scotland though, it's quite simple. 2 games left in the Nations League campaign. Avoid bottom and they'll have a chance of securing their status as a top tier League A side. Second, still a possibility, and would mean qualifying for the Nations League quarter-finals. And the team news for you: no John McGinn, the vice-captain, is among the substitutes tonight, and youthful Middlesbrough duo Ben Doak and Tommy Conway start in attack. To look ahead to this one, earlier on I spoke to former Scotland international James McFadden.
No, I think performances have been good. I think the switch to the back four has allowed us to be more threatening and have a bit more control in games. Portugal aside, that was more about being solid and defensive, which we know they can do. But I think that the performances have been good. Poland at home in particular, if we can cut the errors out, then that's a win. I know people say you can say that about every game, but there were errors that you don't normally see. In Croatia away, I thought was a good performance. I expected probably a bit more for Croatia, probably a kiss of death for the team tonight, but I expect a bit more for them. But we were in the game and we had our moments again. So, no, I think there is plenty of optimism, or there should be plenty of optimism getting into the game tonight, and it's a game we definitely can win.
Is it sometimes easy to forget how good Croatia are when you look away from Luka Modric? There's so many other quality players, isn't there?
It is, but I think there's also a bit of, you look at Croatia and how well they've done over the last 8 to 10 years and think, well, even since they came onto the scene in international football, but certainly the last 8 to 10 years, World Cup finals, and you look at them as a top level team, which they are. But I think that when we played them in Zagreb, it was a good performance. So you need to respect their quality, of course, but without fear, you have to believe that we can go and get a result, get a performance, put a performance in against them, which we've done over there. Just unfortunate we never managed to get the result we wanted, but it's a team that we can beat.
People keep talking about this long run, waiting for a win, 1 win in 16, whatever the stats are. How damaging is it when you go through a run without winning games?
I think it can be tough, but I think, I try and break it down to the run and the lead up to the Euros, then the Euros itself, and then post-Euros. So I would go on post-Euros, and I know you could still say it's still not a great run of form in terms of results, but I think that the performance levels have been there and it's been close, and I think that the change in approach and trying to be more attacking is certainly been welcome, and I think that the players will be aware that they've been on a bad run. But I think you look at the 2 games and say, right, we can win the 2 games. If we win tonight, look forward to the game on Monday, then the optimism can start to come back.
So optimism high for a man considered a legend among the Tartan Army. But what about the fans themselves? Earlier on I went out and about to gauge the mood.
3-2 Scotland, McTominay hat-trick, perfect hat-trick, right foot, left foot header. That's how I'm feeling about the game.
Definitely, it's there. Something's just missing. But, tighten up at the back and create some more chances, we'll be fine. So.
Yeah, as I say, I think the last couple of games especially been very good, but just not got the results. So hopefully tonight turn it into a win for the last home game, so be good.
Rugby and Stafford McDowell is determined to make the most of his chance of captaining Scotland against Portugal on Saturday. The Glasgow Centre leads a much changed Scottish team for the clash at Murrayfield, where over 60,000 fans are expected, and McDowell is relishing the opportunity to lead the team out.
The closer we get to the game, the more it'll probably hit me and I'll get a bit more nervous. It hit me a bit more today when I had to do a bit more talking and stuff like that than the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's something that I might never get a chance to do again, lead a Scotland team out of Murrayfield, so I'll try and embrace and enjoy the moment. It is a dream come true to play for Scotland and to start a game here at Murrayfield, never mind lead the team out. So it's hopefully something I'll be able to take in a lot of and remember for the rest of my life.
And Sally, before I go, I must mention the golf because Robert McIntyre is faring well. He's 12th at the Tour Championship event in Dubai, so he's going strong.
Good news. Thank you very much indeed, Lewis. Enjoy the match tonight. This morning, BBC Radio 2 presenter Paddy McGuinness crossed the finish line in Glasgow to complete his Children in Need cycling challenge. He travelled 300 miles from Wales to Scotland across 5 days on a customised chopper bike. So far, he's raised more than £7.8 million, of which Sir Tom Hunter's foundation has donated £3 million of match funding. Aileen Clark has more.
Still smiling after almost 300 miles, Paddy McGuinness pedalled up his final hill and straight into the BBC studios in Glasgow.
Well, just having 2 children of my own, you know, you just want to give them the best that they can have, and what he's done's just been amazing, raising all this money. Like, God forbid they ever need help from charities, so it's brilliant.
So do you fancy doing 300 miles on it?
Not at all. I just had 100 yards there and my knees are shot.
He's off the chopper, but he's still high-fiving.
Sir Chris Hoy, Paddy's top trainer, became his cycling buddy on the route yesterday.
What an honour to be at the side of him with everything he's achieved on a bike. You know, like 6 gold medals, world championships, just multiple world records, and he's at the side of me just chatting away.
Well, here's the thing. He taught you how to go up a hill on a chopper. You taught him how to do the Agadoo dance.
I certainly did. We were in a motorway service station last night, Black Lace set up in the corner, and I watched a Knight of the Realm do Agadoo with Black Lace, and I thought, this doesn't happen normally, does it, on a Thursday night?
Paddy says it's been the energy of the crowds that has kept his legs turning, like here in Ecclefechan and in Straven last night and this morning. And he had another impressive cycling partner this morning in Sir Tom Hunter, whose foundation match-funded donations to the tune of £3 million.
It's for a fantastic cause. BBC Children in Need helps so many people all over the UK who just need a wee hand up, not a handout.
And while Paddy's been pedalling, Pudsey has been on a plane to Fair Isle, meeting fundraisers from one of our most remote communities. While these school children in Glasgow were ceilidh dancing for Children in Need and pleased with their efforts.
I found it pretty easy, all the swinging and everything.
Off the bike and on the mic, Paddy incredibly grateful to all who kept him going.
It's just a thank you, innit? I tried to high-five as many people as I could along the way. I tried to make eye contact with as many people as I could and just make them feel a part of it. And I really do feel we were all one team on that, you know, as we went along.
Aileen Clark, reporting Scotland, Glasgow.
Lots more fun and games to come on that tonight, and it's over to Laura Miller to find out what's happening on BBC Scotland at 7 o'clock.
Hello, tonight on The 7, we'll take stock of Donald Trump's controversial cabinet picks. We'll ask a retail expert what he thinks about the rise in shoplifting on the Royal Mile. Mike Tyson's coming out of retirement to take on YouTuber Jake Paul in the boxing ring. And as Paddy McGuinness finishes his massive charity cycle, we'll have one of the stars of Children in Need on set, The Sky. See you at 7.
Thanks very much, Laura. Let's get the weather now with Chris, and it's getting cold.
Yes, I chose this picture because it looks quite cold, doesn't it? It's not. It's actually very mild, but you're right, it is turning cold in the coming days, Sally. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening to you. We've had some sunshine around today. The best of that was in the east and the northeast, and actually temperatures in Aberdeen reached 16 degrees, but turning much colder. Tonight, we've got a weather front working its way southwards with some patchy rain. That clears and then we're left with some clear skies, variable cloud, a few showers. Temperatures falling away, some rural parts in the northeast sub-zero, and the winds strong to gale force around the north coast and through the Northern Isles. So tomorrow it's a blustery day with the best of the sunshine through central and southern parts. Further north, more in the way of showers, and for most those showers will be of rain, but across the high ground they will be falling wintry. So mid-afternoon it's still blustery with those winds coming in from the west, northwest. Colder than today, 8 to 10 Celsius, best of the sunshine likely in the south and the east. Those showers most frequent in the west and northwest, and that snow level actually coming down through the course of the day. So for those hill walking or climbing, we've got strong to gale force westerly winds on the mountain tops, a significant wind chill extreme at times, frequent wintry showers across the northwest and a few showers elsewhere as well. Eastern ranges, the further south and east that you are, the drier it will be, but it's still chilly, and you can see the winds coming in from a westerly direction there. They will be strong to gale force. So as we head in towards tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, those showers increasing number, and again wintry to increasingly low levels. So it's a cold night overnight tomorrow night. Temperatures there in towns and cities barely above freezing. Some icy patches in shelter from the wind. The Arctic air is really in place on Sunday too, so it will be a cold, bitter, raw feeling day, certainly if you're in any breeze, but there should be some sunshine around, great visibility, at least in the morning. And then the cloud builds from the west and southwest with some patchy rain arriving. Further north, those showers will be frequent, again wintry to increasingly low levels, and temperature-wise, 6 or 7 Celsius at best. So overnight, Sunday to Monday, a Met Office yellow warning for the risk of snow showers and ice across northern parts of the mainland and the Northern Isles. Then it gets interesting on Monday. This system moving in off the Atlantic, meeting the cold air, could well bring a spell of rain, sleet and snow. So because of that, we do have a Met Office yellow warning in force for Monday into Tuesday. We think most of the snow will be across the higher ground, but there is the potential for it to come to lower levels. Now, through Monday morning, we've got some snow showers in the far north, but elsewhere dry, cloudy and cold, 4 or 5 Celsius at best. Then that system arrives, but its exact north extent is still open to doubt. And in fact, just before we came on air, looking at the latest model run, and it's got the whole system 50 miles further south, which would leave us dry but still cold. But certainly it's one to watch. It will be cold and potentially wintry too. That's the forecast for now.
As you say, interesting times ahead. Thank you very much. That's Reporting Scotland. Graham Stewart will be here with your late news at around 10:30 tonight. But until then, from everyone in the team, do enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.